Hello everyone, Johnny Thunder, EAS&Weather here with your Day 2 fire weather outlook. And boy, does tomorrow's wildfire threat look serious for some areas. So anyway, we have an extreme risk for wildfires tomorrow that encompasses east central New Mexico, northwestern Texas, much of the Texas Panhandle, much of the Oklahoma Panhandle, southeastern Colorado, and southwestern Kansas. Cities in the extreme fire weather risk area tomorrow include Amarillo, Texas, Clovis, New Mexico, Garden City, Kansas, Liberal, Kansas, and Hereford, Texas. Excuse me. There's a critical fire weather risk area tomorrow covering far southeastern Arizona, most of New Mexico, far west central Texas, as well as west central Texas, as well as the Texas Panhandle, the central part of the Oklahoma Panhandle, southeastern Colorado, and west central Kansas. Cities in the critical fire weather risk area tomorrow include Albuquerque, New Mexico, Lubbock, Texas, Las Cruces, New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, and South Valley, New Mexico. And there are two elevated fire weather risk areas tomorrow, one covering Central California and another covering eastern half of Arizona, the very far extreme southeastern tip of Utah, northwestern and far southeastern New Mexico, parts of Texas, parts of Colorado, a little bit of northwest Oklahoma, and parts of Kansas for the elevated. So, anyway, yeah. So, the threat for dangerous wildfire ignition and spread potential on Day 2, Sunday, continues over portions of the southern high plains. The overall forecast remains on track with very little change to the magnitude of southwesterly winds sustained near 25 to 30 miles per hour over the critical area and minimum relative humidity in the single digits. Minimal changes were made to the drawn areas, mainly as a result of slight fluctuations in the position of the dry line and how far northeast dry air is anticipated to wrap into the surface low. While convection will be possible along the boundary of southwest Oklahoma and the south central Kansas, storms are expected to remain wet and quickly move into less receptive vegetation, providing a much lower threat than previous days. Even so, critical to extremely critical fire weather conditions over potential lightning holdovers from previous days will only exacerbate the overall fire environment risk. So, I'm going to read the previous discussion. So, the previous discussion is as follows. Synopsis. Dangerous wildfire spread conditions are expected across the southern high plains tomorrow, Sunday. An active fire weather pattern will become established across the southwestern U.S. tomorrow, Sunday, as a pronounced mid-level impulse embedded in a broader upper trough over the Intermountain West traverses the Rockies and supports further deepening of a surface low over the plains. Strong gradient flow across the desert southwest into the southern high plains will support a widespread 25 to 30 miles per hour sustained westerly surface winds amid 5 to 15% relative humidity, warranting the introduction of broad critical highlights. Extremely critical conditions are expected across extreme eastern New Mexico into the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, extreme southeast Colorado, and far southwest Kansas. Here, the aforementioned favorable and wind and relative humidity will overspread critically dry fuel beds with fuel loading, where several wildfires have developed over the past few days. Widespread sustained surface winds exceeding traditional extremely critical criteria, 30+ miles per hour, are somewhat in question. However, compensating factors for a volatile and dangerous wildfire spread scenario to include the combination of fuel loading of grasses exceeding the 95 percentile, as well as the exacerbation of holdovers from wildfires ignited over the past few days. The eastward expansion of extremely critical highlights may be needed across the remainder of the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, as well as southwestern Kansas, when the exact position of the dry line may be pinpointed with relatively higher confidence. California Central, California Central Valley region. A northwesterly mid-level speed max will overspread California tomorrow atop a dry and mixed boundary layer. By afternoon, peak heating 20-25 miles per hour. Sustained northwesterly surface will overlap with 15-20% relative humidity amid drying fuels, warranting elevated highlights. So, that's your day 2 fire weather outlook. Stay safe and vigilant. Stay safe and vigilant in these areas tomorrow. If I were you, I would gather supplies immediately, such as food, water, clothing, toiletries, medical supplies, a flashlight, a cell phone, phone chargers, extra batteries, and a battery-powered radio in the event that you need to evacuate on a moment's notice, because fire can start to spread quickly. Please avoid outdoor burning in these areas tomorrow. Please avoid outdoor burning in these areas tomorrow. Whether you're in the elevated, the critical, or the extreme fire risk areas, because all it takes is one little spark for a fire to start to spread quickly. Do not throw cigarettes on the ground. Do not throw cigarettes on the ground, even if they're not lit. Because one, that's littering, which is illegal and can it can harm the environment significantly. You can get a major fine if you get caught littering. Alright, you can face legal penalties if you get caught littering. And also, all it takes is one little spark for a fire to start to spread quickly. And make sure your cigarette is fully out before throwing it away. So, stay safe in the affected areas tomorrow and remain vigilant and be prepared to evacuate, because tomorrow can be a very serious wildfire threat day for these areas in particular. So, stay safe tomorrow, and I'll go over all of this again in tomorrow's Day 1 Fire Weather Outlook video. Take care.